Here's another 20 concerning objects that are not from this planet. No. Let's check it out.
Our understanding of the mysteries within our planet and the universe remains incomplete. However, it doesn't stop us from being curious about these bizarre objects, with some stranger than others. From bizarre meteorites to artifacts created by extraterrestrial visitors, here are 20 concerning objects that are not from this planet. Number 2. Number 20. Anne Elizabeth Fowler's encounter. On a quiet afternoon in November 1954, a woman named Anne Elizabeth Fowler Hodges was napping on her couch when something completely unexpected happened. And by unexpected, I mean a meteorite crashed through her ceiling and struck her. So yes, while you probably won't get hit by a space rock during your lifetime, the chances aren't zero. However, you don't need to worry. This event marked her as the only person in recorded history to be hit by a meteorite and survive. The meteorite, which was a chondrite, caused quite a stir. After the military examined it, it was returned to Anne and her husband.
What are the odds of that happening?
They faced a legal dispute over its ownership with their landlord, but eventually Anne was allowed to keep it for a $500 settlement. Now, I'm not sure how or why Anne's landlord thought they had a claim over the meteorite when Anne was the only one affected by the entire incident, but perhaps it's the promise of money that compelled them to put a claim on the rock. The attention brought by the incident wasn't easy for Anne. She faced health problems and anxiety following the event. Who wouldn't be traumatized after what she experienced? She eventually eased back into normalcy, however. Initially, the meteorite attracted offers reaching thousands of dollars, but the interest waned over time. In the end, Anne sold it to the Alabama Museum of Natural History for $25.
Before we go on, like this video, smash the subscribe button, and click the notification bell right now.
Number 19. Milky Way and the Andromeda. Now here's one significant cosmic event that you may or may not be concerned about: the grand collision of our home, the Milky Way, and the Andromeda Galaxy. Astronomers have recently predicted this collision will probably cease to exist by the time this happens, but still, it's quite an interesting cosmic event. You see, the Andromeda Galaxy, our nearest giant galactic neighbor, is barreling towards the Milky Way at nearly 250,000 miles per hour. When these two galaxies finally meet, our skies will transform. The collision is expected to ignite a spectacular display of new star formation, filling the skies with bright emission nebulae and open clusters. Now, I know it sounds like a chaotic event, but it's unlikely that individual stars within these galaxies will collide. The stars are spaced so far apart that they'll mostly pass by each other. Essentially, what will happen is a massive reorganization of these stars into new orbits around the center of the newly merged galaxy. As for our solar system, it's predicted that it could be flung farther from the galactic core. There's even a small chance, around 12%, that our solar system could be completely ejected from this newly formed galaxy. But don't worry, even if this happens, it's unlikely to directly impact the planets themselves. It sounds catastrophic, but the two galaxies are so giant that it won't affect us. Number 18. Incoming Megacomet. Now here's another space event that sounds catastrophic, but isn't really a cause for concern, for now at least. There has been news that from the distant Oort cloud is an incoming gigantic visitor making our way toward our solar system. It's the Bernardinelli-Bernstein Comet, also known as C2014 UN271. It was first discovered by astronomers Pedro Bernardinelli and Gary Bernstein. This comet is extraordinary due to its immense size, measuring about 62 miles wide and possibly even larger. Again, even though its arrival seems apocalyptic, there's no need for concern. When this megacomet approaches our solar system in 2013, it will still be 1 billion miles away from the Sun, safely passing by Saturn and Uranus. This distance is far enough to pose no threat to Earth. It does, however, offer a rare opportunity for astronomers. Its size and activity at such a great distance from the Sun are unusual. By observing it, scientists hope to learn more about the composition and behavior of these celestial wanderers. Number 17. Catastrophic solar flare. Solar flares appear as a sudden intense brightening of a region on the Sun. It lasts anywhere between several minutes to hours, and it's a pretty common phenomenon. However, in the past few years, there has been a growing concern over solar flares. You see, our sun undergoes an 11-year cycle characterized by variations in solar activity, including sunspots and solar flares. During periods of heightened activity, the likelihood of solar flares and coronal mass ejections increases. These solar phenomena can disrupt Earth's magnetic field and potentially cause wide-ranging technological effects. A significant solar flare, similar to the one in 1859 known as the Carrington event, could be particularly impactful if it occurred in today's technologically dependent society. A powerful flare could disrupt electrical grids, satellite communications, and the internet, rendering the entire planet.
That's not something you ever want to hear, especially in these days and times. We depend on that stuff.
Unable to connect to networks and the internet. Considering how we all think our phones are useless without the internet or mobile data, this event would largely affect even ordinary people. In fact, in 1859, the Carrington event already caused chaos after causing telegraph systems to fail and even led to operators receiving electric shocks. If a similar event were to happen now, it could lead to trillions of dollars in damages, affecting power grids, computers, cooling systems in nuclear reactors, and more. Researchers have highlighted the possibility of such a tech-disrupting solar flare occurring within the next century, but rest assured that there's nothing for us to worry about. Again, for now. Number 16. 154,741 extra asteroids. Here's a short but concerning discovery. Recently, astronomers discovered proof that there are many large objects in our solar system, more so than we expected at least. Scientists discovered over 150,000 asteroids in our solar system, with many of them being planet killers, asteroids larger than 0.6 miles in diameter. The remaining ones, on the other hand, are city killer asteroids, smaller but still terrifying space rocks. Well, that's not very comforting to learn. Number 15. The Dropa Stones. The Dropa Stones are among the most mysterious objects found on Earth. According to the story, an archaeological expedition led by Chi Pu-te in 1937 in the Bayan Har Mountains discovered 716 granite discs with hieroglyph-like markings, dated around 12,000 years old. These discs, supposedly measuring about 1 foot in diameter, featured tiny hieroglyphs within grooves, forming a double spiral from a hole in their center. The story further claims that these discs were created by extraterrestrials, known as the Dropa, following a crash of a UFO in the Sino-Tibetan border region. This entire story was crafted and published by Tsunum Nui, who faced ridicule and left for Japan in self-imposed exile, passing away shortly after. However, the authenticity of the Dropa Stones and the entire narrative has been widely disputed. After all, who would readily believe that aliens are responsible for several stones? The supposed translation of the disc's hieroglyphs and the subsequent events have been met with skepticism. The names and sources associated with the story are largely uncorroborated, and the existence of Soviet or Chinese scholars working on these stones could not be verified. Moreover, the actual Dropa tribe are known to be regular-sized nomadic herders inhabiting parts of the Tibetan plateau, contrary to the story's depiction of them as a diminutive alien race. In 1994, German scientist Hartwig Hausdorff and colleague Peter Krasse claimed to have been told during a visit to China that the discs have been destroyed on orders from authorities, and that the Chinese government did not officially recognize their existence. However, no records or traces of the Dropa Stones have been found in any museums in China. Even so, the Dropa Stones continue to intrigue UFOologists around the globe. After all, if they were insignificant and its story merely an elaborate hoax, why would the authorities go as far as finding said discs and eliminating all traces of them? Well, we can only speculate. Number 14. The Omua Mua. In 2017, astronomers were puzzled by the appearance of an interstellar visitor, Omua Mua, which literally translates to a messenger from afar in the local language. Omua Mua's speed was extraordinary, traveling at a blistering 196,000 miles per hour.
If Omua Mua turns out to actually be an alien spacecraft, since they call it the messenger from afar, or whatever it's called, what do y'all think the message is gonna be? What do y'all think the messenger is bringing us? Like, I've I've been paying attention to Omua Mua for a minute, fam, and I really believe that that's it. That's actually an alien spacecraft. Just saying. I do.
Its speed was too fast to have originated from within our solar system, making it an interstellar traveler. Its journey began toward the constellation Lyra, but its exact starting position is unknown. The object's appearance and behavior added to the mystery. Omua Mua is elongated, like a cigar, about 10 miles longer than it is wide. This shape is unusual compared to the asteroids and comets we typically see in our solar system. After its brief visit, Omua Mua is now on its way out of the solar system, never to return. Despite the extensive study, we're yet to learn more about this interstellar visitor. Is it an alien-controlled spacecraft or an ordinary celestial body? Number 13. Rogue Black Hole. In the vast and enigmatic expanse of our Milky Way galaxy, scientists have achieved a groundbreaking discovery: the detection of an isolated stellar mass black hole. Imagine a massive void with a mass about 7 times that of the Sun, silently cruising through space at a staggering 28 miles per second. This speed, roughly equivalent to 100,000 miles per hour, is so swift it could cover the distance from Earth to the Moon in under 3 hours. It sounds like the perfect plot for a dystopian sci-fi movie, but if you've seen our other space videos or read about space, you know this rogue black hole isn't a cause for concern. We're merely observing black holes to learn more about the universe. This one, in particular, is quite special. Unlike the black holes previously identified, which are usually found in binary systems interacting with other stars, this one is a lone wanderer, devoid of any companion stars or visible counterparts. This isolation makes it a rare and valuable subject for study, and not the focus of concern. Number 12.
He make it sound all cute and cuddly, instead of making it sound like the dangerous, light-destroying, nothing escapes out of it thing that it is. Like, and the fact that it's just out there wandering, wreaking havoc, however it sees fit. Like, no. No, we have to keep an eye on black holes. The bad thing about it is there's so many of them. There's so many of them, bro. Like, that's the scary part.
Antarctic UFO. In the icy expanse of Antarctica near the towering Mount Paget, an intriguing object surfaced. This image, found on Google Earth, appeared to show a mysterious object nestled in the snow, leading to speculation about a possible UFO sighting or a crash landing. The object, seemingly out of place in the stark white landscape, spurred conspiracies about extraterrestrial activity on our planet. However, despite the alleged extraterrestrial ties of this bizarre object, many claim that this image is rooted firmly on Earth. Expert analysis revealed that what was initially thought to be an unidentified flying object was in fact a natural phenomenon. A geologist, Richard Waller, explained that the image most likely only depicts the aftermath of a part of a hanging glacier collapsing. But in the end, whether this object is a UFO or not is still up for debate. Number 11. Retirement of the International Space Station. Now here's something that, again, is yet to happen but might cause concern. You see, in 2031, the International Space Station, or the ISS, will retire, and this will mark a significant event in the annals of space exploration. Since its first module was launched into orbit in 1998, the ISS has been a beacon of scientific success and international cooperation, orbiting Earth every 90 minutes at a distance of about 250 miles above the surface. This floating laboratory has been instrumental in numerous scientific breakthroughs and has been continuously inhabited since 2000. However, the ISS cannot operate indefinitely and will inevitably be decommissioned. NASA intends to retire the ISS by performing a controlled deorbit, ensuring it lands in a remote part of the Pacific Ocean known as Point Nemo, the oceanic point farthest from land. This area is often used for safely deorbiting spacecraft. Most parts of the ISS are expected to burn up in Earth's atmosphere, but some pieces might reach Earth. It's quite tragic to imagine that after years of service, the ISS will simply burn up and crash into Earth's ocean. Number 10. The Antikythera Mechanism. The Antikythera Mechanism might be an artifact you've come across before. After all, it remains the most bizarre object discovered on our planet. It was recovered in a shipwreck off the coast of the Greek island Antikythera in 1900. This complex device, composed of at least 30 known gears and dating back to the 2nd century BC, is widely recognized as an early form of an analog computer used to predict astronomical events. Because of how complex this device is, many believe that it's extraterrestrial in origin. For instance, some proponents of ancient alien theories, like Giorgio Tsoukalos, have argued that the complexity of the Antikythera mechanism might indicate knowledge imparted by extraterrestrial beings. This perspective views the mechanism as potentially being a product of advanced
Wait. I never noticed that. Hold on.
beings.
I never noticed the little words and different things drawn out. And I've seen this thing, I don't know how many times, over a dozen times. But I've never seen a zoomed in, or maybe I did and wasn't really paying attention to it like that, a zoomed in photo showing these little letters all throughout it. Letters, words, whatever it is. I wonder if they started to figure out and make out what that could mean.
This perspective views the mechanism as potentially being a product of advanced alien technology given to or developed by ancient humans. However, while the Antikythera mechanism is indeed sophisticated, suggesting a high level of technological knowledge and skill in ancient Greek society, there's no concrete evidence to support the involvement of extraterrestrial intelligence in its creation. That doesn't stop people from believing in extraterrestrial theories, though. And so, to this day, the true origin of the Antikythera mechanism is still a subject of research and debate. Number 9. The Black Knight Satellite. Now here's one of the oldest and most prominent alien conspiracies. If this theory is correct, there's an extraterrestrial spacecraft in near-Earth orbit that has been there since the Stone Age. Proponents of this theory suggest that NASA and various governments have actively covered up its existence. Why? Well, that's also a mystery. One key piece of early evidence of the Black Knight satellite dates back to 1899, when Nikola Tesla received unexpected electrical signals in his Colorado laboratory. He believed these signals were possibly from intelligent beings in space, leading some to retroactively suggest these were communications from the Black Knight satellite. Decades later, in 1954, UFO researcher Donald Keyhoe claimed that the U.S. Air Force had detected 2 satellites orbiting Earth, even though, at the time, no country had the technology to launch such satellites. Later, in 1960, the U.S. Navy detected a dark object in orbit, initially thought to be a Soviet spy satellite, but was later identified as space debris from an Air Force satellite. The conspiracy theories around the Black Knight satellite gained more traction with a 1998 NASA photograph, which captured a strange object in orbit. Conspiracy theories quickly labeled this object as the Black Knight satellite. However, NASA explained that the object in the photo was a thermal blanket that had become detached during an International Space Station construction mission. Despite extensive contradicting claims, the sheer number of events connected to the Black Knight satellite makes it among the most compelling alien stories that ever existed. I'll let you decide whether this alien theory has some truth or is an elaborate hoax.
It's been up there all this time and we haven't engaged it yet. I find that hard to believe. We ain't trying to figure out what it, get close to it, land something on it, near it, and try to figure out what it is. I find that hard to believe, man. That makes no sense to me.
Number 8. The Baghdad Battery. Would you believe people knew about batteries thousands of years ago when Romans were busy in battles? It sounds implausible, but this is what the Baghdad Battery proves if it's legitimate. Discovered near Baghdad, Iraq, these artifacts are believed to date back to the Parthian period, around 250 BCE to 224 AD. However, some sources suggest they might be from the later Sasanian period, between 224 and 650 AD. The discovery was made in 1938 by Wilhelm Koenig, an assistant at the Iraq Museum, who found these jars in the museum's collection and proposed they might be ancient batteries. Each Baghdad battery consists of a clay jar about 5 inches tall, with a copper cylinder inside, sealed at the bottom with copper and capped with asphalt. An iron rod was placed in the cylinder, suggesting that when filled with an acidic agent like vinegar or wine, the device could have functioned as a galvanic cell, capable of generating a small electrical current. But how could that be possible? The concept of the Baghdad Battery as an ancient electrical device has led to various theories about its potential use. Some suggest it could have been used for electroplating, although this is contested by experts who argue that the methods and artifacts from that period indicate the use of different techniques for gilding, such as fire gilding with mercury. Others have proposed it might have been used for medical electrotherapy or electroacupuncture. However, these theories are speculative, as there's no direct evidence to confirm these uses. Even so, many continue to believe that the Baghdad Battery was created by extraterrestrials who had greater knowledge to help people at the time. Number 7. The Voage Manuscript. If you're interested in all things bizarre, perhaps you've already heard about the Voage Manuscript, a mysterious 15th century document that has baffled experts and enthusiasts for centuries. You see, this book is so bewildering that it led many to believe that it was written and created by extraterrestrial creatures. This book is filled with bizarre and seemingly otherworldly figures of different organisms that don't resemble anything on Earth. For years, many have tried to decipher the meaning and purpose of this book, but to no avail. You see, the manuscript's unique language and unusual star charts are unlike anything known to us. Some enthusiasts further propose that the manuscript could be a chronicle of life on Earth, penned by an alien visitor stranded here in the 1400s. However, as captivating as this theory is, it's not backed by mainstream scientific evidence. Other more grounded theories suggest that the manuscript could be an elaborate hoax, possibly crafted by historical figures known for their deceptive practices. Alternatively, it could simply be a medieval nature encyclopedia or medical text, considering its detailed sections on herbs and biology. The Voage Manuscript is divided into several intriguing sections, including astronomical, biological, cosmological, herbal, pharmaceutical, and recipes. Each section has illustrations ranging from unconventional astrological charts to drawings of unidentifiable plants and strange diagrams. So what do you think? Is the Voage Manuscript a message from another world, a sophisticated medieval hoax, or a lost scientific and medical compendium? Number 6. Clerk Storps spheres. The Clerk Storps spheres, also known as Moki marbles or Odestal spheres,
Like a walnut, don't it?
discovered by South African miners in the 1970s. What makes them so captivating? They're estimated to be about 3 billion years old, and their unusual precision and symmetry have sparked many theories, some of which stretch into the realm of extraterrestrial involvement. The Clerk Storps spheres vary in size and are composed mainly of hematite, giving them a distinct reddish-brown color. Their most striking feature is their concentric grooves or ridges around the surface. These features have led some to speculate about their formation and purpose, with theories ranging from natural geological processes to remnants of ancient civilizations, and yes, even potential alien origins. One of the more outlandish theories suggests that these spheres are evidence of ancient extraterrestrial visitation or technological artifacts left behind by advanced civilizations from outer space. The idea taps into our fascination with the unknown and the possibility of intelligent life beyond Earth. In contrast, the scientific community generally agrees that the Clerk Storps spheres are a natural wonder formed through a process known as concretion. This is where minerals precipitate and solidify around a nucleus, often resulting in spherical shapes. Despite the allure of more exotic explanations, the concretion process aligns with our current understanding of geological phenomena.
It also looks like a little meteorite, don't it? Not like the big one that hit that lady we saw earlier in the video, but like little small ones that kind of break off as they get closer to Earth.
Number 5. Pacle sarcophagus lid. The sarcophagus lid of Pacle is often cited as potential evidence of extraterrestrial existence. Housed in the Temple of Inscriptions within Palenque, it forms part of the tomb of the Maya ruler Kinich Janab Pacle, also known as King Pacle. The detailed carving on the lid has sparked numerous interpretations and theories. Crafted from a single block, Pacle's sarcophagus lid is rectangular, varying in thickness from 245 to 290 millimeters, approximately 9 to 11.5 inches. Its dimensions are 2.2 meters wide by 3.6 meters long, about 7 feet by 12 feet, and this imposing stone weighs an impressive 7 tons. One of the most talked about aspects of the sarcophagus lid is its interpretation by advocates of the ancient alien theory, notably highlighted by Eric von Daniken in his book Chariots of the Gods. Certain interpretations propose that Pacle is engaging with machinery, possibly wearing a breathing apparatus, adjusting knobs with his hands. and operating pedals with his feet, all while seated in what could be described as a flying machine. The scene suggests he might be preparing for travel, or is currently in motion. His body posture resembles the bracing stance of contemporary astronomers during takeoff. This interpretation, however, is highly speculative and not supported by mainstream archaeology. Experts in Mayan history and archaeology interpret the iconography of the sarcophagus lid differently. They see it as a classical depiction of Mayan art, relating closely to the temple's interior and other temples centered on world trees. The lid is thought to show Pacle's transition to the afterlife, with imagery that includes cosmological signs such as the sun, moon, and stars, and what is interpreted as a cruciform world tree at the center. This interpretation aligns with the understanding of Mayan beliefs and art, where the world tree connects heaven, earth, and the underworld, and the position of Pacle represents rebirth, not space travel. Controversies also surround the physical remains of Pacle found in the tomb. There's been debate over his age at death, with some discrepancies between the wear on the skeleton's teeth and the age Pacle would have been based on historical records. We know he ruled for 68 years, but some theories say he was 80 years old when he died, but the average lifespan for a Mayan citizen at the time was between 20 and 42 years old. It's safe to say that to this day, there are still a lot of mysteries surrounding this tomb. Number 4. Abydos helicopter. Now here's another historical object that allegedly depicts aliens. These carvings have stirred up quite a bit of controversy. These hieroglyphs, which some claim resemble modern vehicles like helicopters and submarines, have been cited by proponents of pseudo-scientific theories as evidence of ancient advanced technology, or even extraterrestrial contact. This interpretation has been particularly popular among ancient astronaut theorists, who suggest that these carvings are proof of an advanced civilization or extraterrestrial influence in ancient Egypt. But again, mainstream Egyptologists and scholars have a more grounded explanation. They explain that the Abydos carvings are actually the result of a palimpsest effect. This phenomenon occurs when an overlapping of inscriptions happens, as in the Temple of Seti I during the reign of his son, Ramses II. Essentially, the helicopter and other modern-looking symbols are a byproduct of two separate sets of hieroglyphics that were superimposed over each other. Over time, erosion made these overlapped carvings look like modern technology. The initial carving was made during the reign of Seti I and was later modified by Ramesses II. This practice of recarving hieroglyphs was not uncommon in ancient Egypt, especially when a new pharaoh established their dynasty and wanted to ride over the hieroglyphics of their predecessors. But well, with the mystery surrounding this historic carving, many are still compelled to believe that it has extraterrestrial connections. Number 3. Giant stone balls of Costa Rica. Discovered in the 1930s, the giant stone balls of Costa Rica remain one of the most mysterious objects on Earth that are allegedly created by creatures out of this world. The stone spheres, often referred to as Las Bolas by the locals, are believed to have been first created around the year 600, with most dating to after 1000 but before the Spanish conquest. These spheres vary in size, with some weighing as much as 16 tons, and are made of hard, igneous stone called granodiorite. The original purpose and creation method of these spheres has been a topic of speculation among researchers. Some theories suggest that they were crafted from nearby round boulders, with skilled sculptors using techniques like controlled fracturing, grinding, and hammering to achieve the perfect spherical shape. The spheres might have been smoothed and polished, possibly using sand or leather. As for their purpose, several theories exist. Some believe they were used as status symbols or to mark a tribal chief's property, while others think they had ceremonial or religious significance. There's also a thought that they might have served navigational purposes, as many were originally found facing north. To this day, the origin of these stones remains unknown. Number 2. Ladov plate. The Ladov plate is a plate found in Nepal, and it's allegedly 12,000 years old, at least according to claims. This disc allegedly shows a UFO and a figure resembling an alien. This has led to speculation among some enthusiasts that it could be evidence of extraterrestrial contact in ancient times. However, there are also skeptics. The plate first gained attention in a book from the 1970s entitled Sun Gods in Exile by Carol Robin Evans. This book was later revealed to be a hoax by the author David Agamon, who admitted that he had fabricated the story. This revelation casts significant doubt on the authenticity of the ladov plate and its alleged connection to ancient aliens or UFOs. While the idea of ancient extraterrestrial contact is fascinating, the evidence for such claims, like the ladov plate, often lacks credible verification and is frequently rooted in hoaxes or misinterpretations. Even so, many believe that the ladov plate is genuine proof of alien existence, and Robin Evans' later denial was merely a cover-up. And now it's time for today's topic.
Always.
Now this is a mysterious object that's allegedly not from this world. In this image, we see debris that seems to have embedded itself in the ground, surrounded by a pattern that suggests a forceful impact. An anonymous person posted this photo, claiming they came across the site while traversing a remote location in South America. Before others could reach it, however, it mysteriously disappeared. This sudden disappearance has seeded theories ranging from a swift government intervention to obscure the object from prying eyes, suggesting a cover-up, to more enigmatic explanations that entertain the possibility of self-erasing extraterrestrial evidence. The idea—
That's a meteor. That's definitely not the normal one we normally see. But that's the thing. That's all they've ever shown us. So who's to say what an actual meteor or different meteors look like, right? They always show us one specific kind. And now I'm just starting to, the more I speak out about it and say it out my mouth, I'm starting to get skeptical of that. Everything they've always shown me to believe that this is a meteor.
Yeah, that it might be connected to otherworldly visitors aligns with a long-standing fascination with unidentified flying objects and the signs they might leave behind. What do you think? Could this really be proof of alien visitation? Let me know in the comments.
Could be.
Number 1. The Vimana. Vimanas, often described as ancient flying machines in Indian mythology, might be familiar to some. In ancient scripts like the Vaimanika Sastra, Vimanas are depicted with capabilities akin to modern aircraft and even space vehicles, using propulsion systems potentially involving mercury vortex engines and anti-gravitational forces. This advanced technological depiction has fueled theories about extraterrestrial influence. Some researchers suggest that these depictions of Vimanas, with their sophisticated flight capabilities, may be evidence of alien contact or ancient astronauts visiting Earth.
I'm not gonna lie though. A few of those look like some of the things we've seen flying through the skies. Why have we never, well, I can't speak for y'all. I've never seen those things before. Vimanas. I'm gonna have to look that up.
These may be evidence of alien contact or ancient astronauts visiting Earth. After all, such intricate technology was beyond human capability when these texts were written. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, the idea of Vimanas as a connection between ancient human civilizations and extraterrestrial entities continues to be entertained by many. Again, there would be no way for people at the time to gain knowledge about the inner workings of various aircraft. Perhaps it's their inherent brilliance, but the lore and intricacies of these ancient flying machines persistently captivate many, suggesting that in the past, humans may have received assistance and knowledge from beings not of our world. Now, if we entertain the notion that several of these alien theories are valid, the question arises, why would the aliens stop visiting our planet? Or did they just improve their ability to hide their presence?